You like classic? You like jazz? Well, I got something that'll jazz you classic fans. It's called Sonic Roboblast 2, and I guarantee that literally anyone who gives this game a chance will grow to love it. Yes, even you. That guy who thinks adding the spin dash to the classic games was a mistake because it goes against their philosophy of purely using momentum to attain speed. Well, I've got news for you, buddy. Free speed is the best speed. Wait a minute. So as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by the suppressed personality inside my head, Sonic Roboblast 2 is a classic Sonic fan's dream game. And you're probably wondering, hey, how do you know that? Well, here's the thing. Don't tell anyone, but I'm a classic Sonic fan. Seriously, don't tell anyone. I don't need anyone yelling, wow, the boomer likes classic Sonic games. Surprising. You know what's not surprising? Saving 15% or more on car insurance by switching to Geico. First of all, that's a lie. My parents have Geico. They say it's terrible. Second of all, I'm not a boomer. When my dad's drinking his Seagrams, I'm stuck sipping on a Snapple, appreciating the fact that there's anything I can legally drink out of a glass bottle. Anyway, enough rambling. You came here to find out why you should be playing Sonic Roboblast 2, and I'm here to tell you. To put it simply, Sonic Roboblast 2 manages to replicate not only the vibe through its amazing music and sprite-based graphics, but also the experience of the classic games, all while translating it into a 3D environment. No, I'm not saying that they replicated the classic physics exactly and put them in a 3D environment. What I am saying is that the physics followed the same principles as the classic games. For one thing, they're heavily structured around momentum, but in different ways. You see, in the classic games, you would use slopes to manipulate your momentum. But in Sonic Roboblast 2, we didn't even have slopes till December of 2019. Instead, Sonic Roboblast 2 has always been structured around controlling your momentum in the air, which may sound kind of bland until you realize just how much control over your acceleration and direction you have midair. And let me tell you, these levels are heavily structured around that fact, and so are most of the abilities that each character possesses. Tails can fly, and Knuckles can glide and climb, but Sonic gets treated to his own special move, the Speed Thock, named after the sound that it makes. Imagine a homing attack that doesn't home onto anything, but you get to keep all your momentum. That's the Speed Thock, and it's a very powerful move in experienced hands. However, it's also a very big beginner's trap. You see, most newcomers tend to underestimate how far you can jump just by holding forward and keeping the jump button pressed longer. And as a result, newcomers tend to abuse this ability because they think it's necessary to reach faraway platforms. The problem with doing this is because the Speed Thock gives you so much momentum, even if you land on the platform you're aiming for, you're gonna slide off. So if you're planning on making your first playthrough of this game as Sonic, which I would highly recommend, those are some tips that will save you a lot of pain and allow you to experience the game in the best way possible. To a newcomer, these physics and controls may seem a bit slippery, and they may consider it a flaw in the game itself. However, as the newcomer plays the game, the levels do an excellent job of teaching the player how to control their momentum through increasingly difficult platforming challenges. And as you play, you'll find that the physics aren't very slippery once you adapt to the game's momentum. What I'm saying is, like any game with physics you're unfamiliar with, there is a bit of a learning curve, but it's an incredibly rewarding learning curve. In the classic games, the obstacles that you had to overcome in order to attain fast speeds throughout the entire level was learning the level design and working on your reaction times. In Sonic Roboblast 2's case, you're using your mastery over the controls to navigate what you can clearly see in front of you. What I'm saying is, the gameplay experience never gets old, because while memorization will enable you to speedrun a level at an incredible pace, memorization is never going to be required for a player to go fast and have a good time, even going into the later levels. There's not a single Marble Zone moment in this game. You'll never be like, darn, we went from 100 to 0 real quick. Of course, the later levels do become more oriented around precise platforming and timing-based challenges, but that's normal for a Sonic game. The key difference here is that there's rarely an instance of, I gotta sit here and wait a few seconds for this platform to move. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The game likes to give players alternative routes based around high-speed platforming challenges that reward the player with a faster route to the finish. And as for the later portions of the game, They have you race Metal Sonic. What could possibly be more speed-oriented than a race against the Speedy Blue Hedgehog's mechanical double? Not gonna lie, that race is when the game says, alright, you better buckle up your pants before Metal Sonic pulls him down. What on earth was I on when I wrote this? What I'm saying is the game decides it's time for you to prove you got good at the game. So it's a very high-speed platforming race, so if there's any weaknesses in your mastery over the controls, the game will find them. That being said, it's a very fun and epic race, which it better be if the game expects me to be willing to retry this 227 times. Once you beat that race, I will officially consider you competent. And then you'll have 2 more boss fights to deal with. And I'd tell you about them. But I want you to play the game, so go and claim the reward of encountering the final 2 bosses yourself. They're pretty epic. But wait, hold on. Don't click on that Game Apologist video that's in your recommended just yet. I haven't even gotten to the 2 greatest features this game has to offer. And that would be the combination of multiplayer servers and mods. It's one thing for a game to have these 2 separately, but this game allows you to automatically download the files necessary to join a modded server. And when I say mods, I'm not talking about a sprite swap. I'm talking completely new and unique movesets and characters, completely new levels, and even entirely original game modes. This is the Minecraft of Sonic fan games, and the community for this thing is huge. This game's replay value is huge, and I dare you to get bored of it. And hey, if you happen to rage quit at Arid Canyon Zone, guess what? Somebody turned this thing into a kart racer. But that's a topic for a future video. In conclusion, this fan game has been in the works for the past 20 years, and it shows through the level of polish this game has. A link to the game's website will be linked in the description below. Thank you for stopping by and giving me some of your time. Stay safe, and as always, get stick bugged, lol.